Hi, welcome to Boardshop, Surfboard review, the Voodoo Child. All the boys here have begged me not to whistle the old Jimi Hendrix tune, so I won't, because my whistling's pretty poor. Unlike this board, which is amazing. So, you've got a surfboard here, which is a combination of a lot of old school shortboard principles, but also a lot of new school principles. I'm sure you've seen Mason Ho surfing. He's about the most entertaining guy to watch, whether it's that backwash off the cliff or it's pipe or whatever. He surfs in quite a specific way, and this board really reflects how he surfs and what he wants to get out of the board. And actually, instead of being a super high performance, wafer thin, nonsense shortboard that no one else apart from him can surf, it's actually a very, very usable board. So let's have a look at some features. Flat nose rocker, flat through the middle of the board, single into double concave through the fins, a lot of tail kick, for this kind of board. The rail line is pretty parallel, it's pretty straight, and the nose pulls in quite fast and quite hard to keep the volume down. And bizarrely, I don't know if you can see it on the video here, but it's got a little bump before the nose. That's called a beak, and that's there to give a little bit of extra volume apparently with paddling in. Don't really see how that's going to work for the normal guy, but it's another feature. There we are. So, Mason Ho surfs a board glidey off his front foot, but he wants to power off his back foot, release into turns, really snappy, fast turns, and have a board that's very, very responsive. If you've seen him surfing at pipe and what have you. So that's what the tail rocker is for. That increased tail rocker helps to push the board into turns more quickly. And the concave that runs through the fins is deepest as it goes under his back foot and into the fins. So again, it makes the board release onto the rail, go rail to rail and release into turns more easily. So from a performance point of view, these features are all there for a very specific reason. The straight rail, good bit of volume under your front foot, and the single concave up the front gives lift, gives you paddle in power, and gives that board kind of glide when you're on the front foot and you're driving it, we wish, through a barrel or what have you. And like I said, this little beak, this little bump at the front, which is a bit odd, is there for extra bit of volume. So it's a very usable shortboard. It still needs, for the average guy or half decent surfer, it still needs a punchy wave to get going. It's going to have to be above waist height and a decent lined up, well-shaped wave for the mere mortal to get the kind of performance out of it that you would expect. Comparing it to other boards like the baby buggy and what have you, the key difference is the extra tail rocker, flatter through the front end, and the concentration of volume. You can see from the rails there's still a fair bit of volume in the rails. And the other interesting feature, which again I'm not sure you can pick out from the video, is that the tail of the board is kind of almost domed. Mason Ho surfs generally without a tail pad, for whatever reason. He probably doesn't need to remember where his back foot should go like the rest of us. And this kind of doming effect on the tail apparently really helps him with traction and pushing into turns and what have you. And it's kind of a personal preference of his. So you've got a whole load of features here, which are all designed to make the board work and paddle and glide with extra volume and extra float. And then you've got this massive kick in the tail and these very deep concaves through the fins to kind of counteract all that extra practical stuff to make the board into a real performance shortboard. And from what we hear from the feedback from Loss and from Matt Barlos and what have you, and from the couple of guys that have got them already, it works. But you've got to be a decent surfer, and you've got to be surfing it in decent waves to get the most out of it. So good days at home, travel board, trips to Indo, what have you, get lined up with the Voodoo Child, and you'll have a massive smile on your face. As always, you can get them on interest-free finance here at Boardshop. You can trade in an old board. It's all the details are online. It's very, very simple. You'd be covered by our 30-day ride-out guarantee. And if you want to, you can customise the board, switch the dims around a little bit, or just have it plain white if the graphics aren't to your particular taste. There it is, the lost Voodoo Child.